just a natural gambler, but I try to do my share. Go down gambling. Say it when you're running low.
Navinata No Limit Hold'em with the OPP PQ over Power Poker Pop Quiz. Got some reaction to the original video that was something along the lines of why don't you stop making dumb jokes and just share the quiz. So, for your amusement, section 1 basic strategy, I'm just going to kind of roll through these quick. If you already went through the first part, God love you for putting up with the stupid jokes and lengthy interruptions by dogs barking and whatnot. And here we are, 1.1. This is section 1, question 1. Which is the most reasonable way to continuation bet flops? I'm just going to read the questions, and you can pause it, read the answers, and fill in the blanks. If you have if you complete this, you can, just put in the comments below that you have, and we can take it from there, but I'll grade them for you in one way, shape, form, or another. So here we are, 1.2, that's section 1, question 2. ICM, or independent chip model considerations of MTT, that's multi-table tournament situations, when we are far from the money and we are in really blind rounds with an average stack. So, which is correct here, which is true? Pause, yeah. Well, pause like right before I said pause. Or, yeah. Section 1, question 3. When you are in position against a decent thinking opponent, your 3-bet ranges should tend to be what? One, 4. Polarizing our aggression is a useful tool against many opponents, which is not an advantage of polarizing your aggression, or polarized aggression. So, just to make sure it's clear, this does not necessarily mean that we are polarizing our aggression against multiple opponents, like many opponents. It means like against a lot of opponents. Let's see. I don't mean plural opponents in a single hand, I just mean a number of opponents, regardless of whether we're in a heads-up game or heads-up pot or whatever. It means against like a lot of different opponents under a lot of different situations, not necessarily multi-way. And by which is not an advantage of polarizing your aggression, that could be that the thing here is not an advantage, or that it's not an advantage of polarized aggression. Either one could be the answer. The fundamental factors of hand anatomy, according to yours truly, are which ones? And 2-1. So this is section 2. We raised to, so this is just a scenario I'm going to give you. The series turned into a series very much about just specifically playing pre-flop, and on the flop, and on the turn, and on the wheel. So I thought the questions I asked in the quiz should be at least mostly related to or broken down in that way. 2-1. We raised to 4.5 times the big blind pre-flop from under the gun in a $2, $5 full ring live cash game. So you're at the local casino at a 2-5 game, and you open 4.5x. So you're opening to, well, actually, I guess you're not opening to 4.5x since that would be possible. But let's say 42 or 45 dollar. You get. I don't think that'd be possible unless you're doing 50-cent coins. Is that right? Let's see, 4. It seems like 4.5x should be okay, right? No, I guess it's not. So, yeah, let's just say you're opening to 23. Or no, if you can do that, whatever, 25, 20 to 25. And you get called by the button, and the button is our only skilled opponent. So all the other guys are fish, and that's why we have like a pretty big open raise size, and we're going to be opening a tight range with a big raise size, especially from under the gun. But kind of to our chagrin, the player who's on the button is a good player and he calls. And most of the opponents that we have are playing kind of shorter stacks, 100 big blinds or less. Actually, most of them are playing less than 100 big blinds. But the button has an effective stack of 350 big blinds against us. So the flop comes King, Queen, 9. Which is true here. We should not have a betting range. We have a huge nut advantage and a frequent strength advantage, so we should see bet our entire range. We have less air and more strong hands, but Villain has the nuts in his range. We can have a betting range, but he can have a raising range. The other one is D because Villain has few strong hands in his range. We should bet a polarized range and can do so with impunity. So, yeah, just take a stab at that one. 2-2. When we continuation bet the flop and get called, we should tend to do what on the turn? Should we mostly polarize our aggression and size our bets up, make them bigger? And I mean a bigger percent of the pot than we bet on the flop, for instance. B, bet a merged range, since our continuation bets are polarized, and our river bets would be capped and bound / condensed. C, decide if we are willing to get the money in, and if so, it's better we put the money in with bets and raises than to call it off. And betting gives us two ways to win the pot. Section 2, flop, turn, and river play, question 3. If we raise pre-flop and get called, then we bet the flop and get called, then we barrel the turn and get called. What's the best way to express our situation on the river? Are we capped and bound versus merged? So is our range capped and bound? And is our opponent's range merged? Or B, is this a spot where it's a linear versus bluff catcher situation? Are we in a polar versus bluff catcher scenario? Or are we capped and bound versus a condensed range? Which one of those is closest to true? 2-4. Which of the following is not something that yours truly believes and expressed in the video series? And I think we'll get back to the thing where you were pausing, reading, answering, unpausing, hitting play, listening to the next one, and repeating. This is, I think, the last question of the quiz. Got through that pretty quick. 2-5. Match exploitable tendency to the correct adjustment. Okay, so no partial credit for this one. What you've got to do is take this stuff over here and like draw little lines on your computer monitor like this to match the ones that they go with. So bluff more and don't make thin value bets. Value bet thinner and bluff less. Fold less, bet and raise less, call more. So let's start with fold less, bet and raise less, and call more often. Who do we want to do that against? The overly compliant. By compliant, I mean he's checky, cally, like he's letting you control what happens, and he's like just obliging you. He's a calling station. He's a passive, stationary player. Do we want to do this with this? If this guy is our villain, do we want to do this to him? Or like we can go back and forth, I guess. Too aggressive, maniacal. Do we want to do what? Bluff more against him and don't make thin value bets? Do we want to value bet thinner and bluff less often? Or do we want to fold less, bet and raise less and call more against this hombre here? Then bluff more and don't make thin value bets. Do we want to do that against this guy here? The nit, overly tight player, or the maniac, or the compliant station guy? So yeah, like you can write your stuff down, type it out, email it to me. Just if you have the answers and you'd like them looked over, checked out, whatever, just let me know in the comment section, or if you have my email address, let's do that. Send me an email. Put a comment in the comment section and leave me an email. I'm more likely to catch it that way. Catch it sooner that way. So when I do the answers, I'm going to probably do section 1 in one video, section 2 in another, and I am going to go over some of the stuff in a more like, I don't know, helpful, useful strategy video type way, but then I might also just release straight up the answers, you know. Maybe I'll do that first and then go over it in more detail. But if you have any questions about any of this stuff, put that in the comments too. That'll help me to know what kinds of things to talk about when I'm giving the answers, and I'll probably just respond to your comment. So I want to get more comments on these. I think that's the reason that I'm not getting a lot of views all the time, because, like, you know, most of the people do give me the old thumbs up, and I get a lot of positive feedback, and I pull a really good number of coaching situations and at least inquiries and potential students. I take on, well, as much as I'm able to. So, like, I think the content people do like it, and so I would think that it would be, I would think I'd be more super famous by now, right? So if you would like to help me become super duper famous, spread this around. You know, like, show it to your mother and her children. Unless you're an only child, in which case don't show it to your mom, that would be weird. Till next time, guys, Navanada, know them, hold them. May all your outs be alive and all your flushes be nuts. No. Good quote. L-U-C-K. End quote.
Here's your membership.